From floating cities to a record-breaking dam in the Himalayas, countries around the world are redefining the limits of engineering. Iraq is building a trade route to rival the Suez Canal. Norway is attempting the deepest underwater tunnel in history, and Kuwait is planning a $600 billion city in the middle of the desert, complete with a skyscraper over 1,000 meters high. Hey, I'm your host Regis, and today we're exploring 16 highly ambitious megaprojects from 16 different countries. And the first is the Maldives floating city at a cost of $1 billion. Rising water levels are threatening to swallow the Maldives whole. This island nation sits less than a meter above sea level, and by 2100 it could become the first country to completely disappear beneath the waves. But the Maldivians aren't giving up. They're building something incredible, an entire floating city. Just 10 minutes from the capital of Male, this $1 billion project is already taking shape, and it'll become home to 20,000 people. As you can see, it looks like a giant brain coral, and it's built like this for a reason. The entire city rests on a massive concrete hull, anchored by stilts that allow it to gently rise and fall with the waves. A network of 5,000 floating units, homes, restaurants, shops, even schools, are arranged in patterns that mirror natural coral formations. These help to break up waves, keeping the city stable even when the sea gets a little rough. But here's the thing. Traditional construction methods don't really work too well on the water. Each building module has to be constructed in a shipyard and then carefully towed into position. And the city needs to withstand decades of saltwater exposure while protecting the delicate marine ecosystem below. To help with this, artificial coral reefs are being attached to the underside of the city, creating new habitats for marine life. The first residents are already moving in, and the project is set to be completed by 2027. The cost of one of these new seafront villas? About $250,000. But now, let's hop over to Morocco for the Nigeria-Morocco Gas Pipeline at $25 billion. From Nigeria's gas fields to Morocco's Mediterranean shores, this $25 billion pipeline will soon snake its way across the continent of Africa. At 5,600 kilometers, it'll connect 13 different countries, delivering enough gas to power Morocco 6 times over. The scale of this project pushes engineering to its limits. The pipeline will go across some of the most challenging terrain on Earth, from coastal shelves to the depths of the Atlantic Ocean. Every meter of the route needs to be mapped precisely. Construction will take place over 25 years, progressing section by section across Western Africa. For the 340 million people living along its route, it'll open new possibilities for industrial development and economic growth. But because it's kinda cheating to list something multiple countries are building, here's another bonus megaproject that Morocco is working on all by itself. Just north of Casablanca is Hassan II Stadium. Construction crews are breaking ground on what will become one of the world's most impressive soccer stadiums. The $500 million Hassan II Stadium will hold 115,000 fans, but the design is what's really impressive here. The stadium takes its cues from Morocco's cultural heritage. The roof floats above the structure like a traditional Bedouin tent, honoring the ancient Mussem gatherings where communities would come together. Below that, there are 3 steep tiers of seating. 5 levels of VIP boxes will be where the world leaders sit when Morocco co-hosts the 2030 World Cup. Construction teams are racing to complete this mammoth project by 2028, giving them just enough time for testing before the tournament begins. But this isn't the only record-breaking build on this list. Let's check out Singapore's Cross-Island MRT line. It's a new automated railway covering 58 kilometers beneath the country, and it'll connect every major line in Singapore's network through 30 stations. To achieve such a huge feat, Singapore is drilling deeper than ever before, 70 meters to be precise. That's the equivalent of a 25-story building beneath your feet. And if you're wondering why, well, above the tunnels lies the Central Catchment Nature Reserve, home to some of Singapore's rarest wildlife. Rather than cut through this precious forest, engineers chose to go deep underneath it. Custom-built boring machines will carve through solid rock to create the underground passages. The project will be carried out across 3 separate phases. For Phase 1, construction teams are already at work on the eastern section. Phase 2 will tackle the nature reserve crossing, while Phase 3 will extend the line toward the west. By the 2030s, these tunnels will carry more than 1 million passengers every day, equivalent to a fifth of Singapore's population. But our next project is taking tunneling to a whole new level, because right in the heart of the Alps, Austria is building the Brenner Base Tunnel. When we talk about megaprojects, some are so massive that they transcend borders. The Brenner Base Tunnel perfectly illustrates this point. While it connects Austria and Italy, most of the construction, 3 out of the 4 active sites, lies on Austrian soil. Costing $10.5 billion, it's the world's longest underground railway connection. It runs for 64 kilometers, creating a high-speed link between the two countries that literally goes through a mountain. Engineers are even digging a third, smaller tunnel that runs the entire length of the project. No, it's not for trains. Right now, it's still being used to study the mountain's geology, and later on, it'll be a drainage system. As of 2025, workers have already excavated 185 kilometers of tunnel through the Alps. That's more than triple the length of the English Channel Tunnel, and they're not even finished yet. When completed in 2032, trains will race through the mountain at speeds up to 250 kilometers per hour. But if you think that's being built quickly, wait until you see Vietnam's Long Thanh International Airport. And before we take a look at Vietnam's biggest mega project, we quickly want to thank our long-term partner CyberGhost VPN for sponsoring this video. With over 38 million users worldwide and over 20,000 excellent reviews on Trustpilot, it's one of the best VPNs out there. So let us quickly tell you why CyberGhost is such a great choice. A VPN is essential for protecting your digital privacy. Plenty of eyes are watching you every time you go online, and even incognito mode doesn't prevent that. Your internet service provider, your school or work's IT department, even your home Wi-Fi router can all track what you do online. And that is where CyberGhost VPN comes in. Simply select one of their over 100 locations before you browse to encrypt and reroute all of your traffic through their secure servers. This way, no one will even know about your online activity. CyberGhost also unlocks geo-restricted games and content from over 40 streaming platforms like Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Disney+. You can even score better deals online by simply changing your virtual location. It works on all major devices and operating systems: Windows, Mac OS, Android, iOS, and you can protect up to 7 devices at the same time. Perfect for sharing with friends and family. With our link, cyberghostvpn.com/megabuilds, you get their best deal ever. Just $2.03 a month, plus 4 months for free, which is 84% off. There's even a 45-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. It's a great product, we can definitely recommend it, and by signing up using our link in the description, you also help us to create more videos just like this one. And now, back to the video. Vietnam needs to build this project quickly, because Vietnam's existing airports can't keep up with the demand. The country's busiest air route between Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City is the 4th busiest in the entire world, carrying 11 million passengers every year. Ho Chi Minh City's main airport, designed for 30 million travelers, has been operating beyond capacity for over a decade. That's why the $20 billion Long Thanh International Airport is so important. It's being built 40 kilometers east of Ho Chi Minh City and aims to become Southeast Asia's premier aviation hub. When fully completed, it'll handle 100 million passengers per year, double the capacity of Singapore's Changi Airport before the pandemic. Construction teams have already completed about 66% of the first phase. The massive 4,000-meter runway also takes shape as workers race to finish the passenger terminal by December 2025. Early 2026 will see the first aircraft touching down. After that, 2 more phases will follow, adding 3 more terminals and 3 additional runways by 2035. For Vietnam, projected to join the world's top 10 aviation markets by 2050, this mega project is arriving right on time. And now we move from Vietnam to Kenya's Konza Technopolis. It's here where Africa's Silicon Valley is rising from the Kenyan savannah. Just 64 kilometers south of Nairobi, this $14.5 billion city is taking shape across 5,000 acres of former grassland. It's Kenya's boldest bet on a digital future, with research universities, data centers, software development hubs, and semiconductor manufacturing. But there will also be everything from schools and hospitals to hotels and housing. The first pieces are already in place. The National Data Center is completed, and roads and utilities stretch across the site as construction crews prepare for the next phase. Some tech companies even plan to move in during 2025, but it's clear that the project is falling behind its original schedule, and attracting enough investment to fill this massive development takes time. Still, Kenya is committed to this enormous vision. But while this build is big, our next project is astronomical. This is South Africa's Square Kilometre Array. Here, the Karoo Desert is about to become one of the Earth's most important windows to the cosmos. 197 massive radio dishes will scan the skies as part of the Square Kilometre Array, a telescope so powerful it could detect an airport radar on a planet 50 light-years away. Partnering with Australia's 131,072 Christmas tree-shaped antennas, the combined array will cover 1 square kilometer, making it the world's largest and most sensitive radio observatory. The South African site, managing the mid-frequency observations, will work together with Australia's low-frequency array. South Africa leads this scientific revolution in Africa, coordinating with 8 neighboring countries while managing the continent's portion of this global project. And the country has already proven its capabilities with Meerkat, a powerful precursor telescope that will be integrated into the larger array as well. 16 nations have joined forces on this project. It could play a huge role in unlocking the mysteries of the universe, from studying the birth of the first stars to searching for signs of extraterrestrial life. Okay, time to come back down to Earth, because this is Greenland's Isua iron ore project. And here, deep in the Arctic wilderness, is one of the Earth's richest untapped iron ore deposits. Just 150 kilometers from the capital, Nuuk, the Isua iron ore project promises extraordinary wealth, if anyone can figure out how to extract it. The plan involves carving an open pit mine into the frozen landscape, building a deep-water port in the fjord, and constructing a 103-kilometer road connecting them. The iron ore here is some of the purest on Earth, with 70% iron content. But the Arctic had different ideas. When Chinese company General Nice acquired the project in 2015, development ground to a halt. By 2021, Greenland's government had seen enough. They revoked the mining license, citing years of inactivity and unpaid fees. While the iron ore remains buried beneath the ice, the project's future hangs in limbo. Right now, it's on hold. Will it ever get the green light again? It's hard to say. One thing that is going full steam ahead is Pakistan's Diamer-Bhasha Dam. High in the country's northern mountains, the Diamer-Bhasha Dam rises 272 meters from the Indus River. That's nearly the height of the Eiffel Tower. Why is it so important? Well, every year, Pakistan is hit with devastating floods, causing billions of dollars in damage. The dam's massive reservoir will hold back 10 billion cubic meters of water, enough to fill a whopping 4 million Olympic swimming pools, in case anyone can even picture that many swimming pools. Construction teams began work back in 2020, carving into the landscape 315 kilometers upstream from the existing Tarbela Dam. Quite simply, it'll become one of the tallest concrete dams ever constructed. And once it's operational, it'll generate 4,500 megawatts of clean electricity, enough to power over 1 million average homes. But the work is proving difficult, to say the least. Extreme weather, rough terrain, and the sheer scale of the project have all tested the construction teams. But despite the challenges, it's looking likely that the project will actually meet its 2028 target. Okay, now for another build already seeing traction. Let's hop over to Iraq's Development Road Project, which aims to create something extraordinary, a new route connecting Asia to Europe that bypasses the Suez Canal entirely. At its southern gateway, the Grand Al-Faw port is already emerging from the Gulf waters. Its breakwater stretches 14.5 kilometers, making it the longest in the entire world. But the port will ultimately boast 99 berths, transforming Iraq's tiny coastline into one of the region's most important maritime hubs. From there, a massive 1,200-kilometer network of railways and highways will snake through Iraq to Turkey's border, and it's cutting through some of the most challenging terrain in the Middle East. The first phase is scheduled to open this year, with 5 berths already operational. By 2050, they plan to handle more cargo than any port in the Middle East, creating up to 1 million jobs along this new trade corridor. After years of conflict, Iraq is reimagining its future as a major link in global commerce. The Development Road project could finally help this ancient crossroads reclaim its historic role as a bridge between East and West. Speaking of grand visions, this is Madrid, Nuevo Norte in Spain. For 3 decades, it's been a dream frozen in time. Now, after years of legal battles, political upheaval, and economic crises, Europe's largest urban development project is finally breaking ground. Madrid Nuevo Norte will transform 5.6 kilometers of the Spanish capital's northern corridor. At its heart will be a cluster of skyscrapers, with one more than 300 meters high, taller than anything else in the entirety of Spain. The plan also calls for 10,500 new homes, with nearly 40% designated as affordable housing. And there will be 400,000 square kilometers of green spaces, equivalent to 56 soccer fields, connecting the city center and the Monte de El Pardo forest. The development struggled through court battles, the 2004 Madrid bombings, and the 2008 financial crisis. But now it finally promises to create 350,000 jobs over the next 25 years. Speaking of new cities, we can't ignore South Korea's Sejong city, an entirely new capital. You see, for years, South Korea faced a problem. Seoul had become too crowded, too dominant, too everything. Their solution? Build an entirely new city from scratch. And that's exactly what they've been doing since 2007 with Sejong City, one of the biggest urban projects in modern history. This $20 billion metropolis is 125 kilometers south of Seoul, ideally placed to redistribute power across the country. They named it after King Sejong, the legendary ruler who gave Korea its alphabet. Since 2012, government ministries have been moving in. Now, from empty fields, a bustling city of 360,000 people has emerged. Modern apartments tower above wide boulevards, with green spaces and cultural facilities in carefully planned neighborhoods. Construction crews are still shaping this urban experiment, which aims to finish by 2030. By then, Sejong's population could reach 500,000. Now let's head north to Scandinavia, where we find Norway's E39 coastal highway. Along the country's western coast, a mind-blowing road project is coming to fruition. They're creating a network of the world's most extreme tunnels and bridges, including what will be the deepest underwater tunnel ever built. Real quick, before we check out this incredible mega project, if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure to subscribe to MegaBuilds. We always appreciate your support. Thank you, and now back to Norway. Right now, driving from Kristiansand to Trondheim takes 21 hours and 7 ferry crossings. This $50 billion project will cut that to just 13 hours with no ferries needed. The highlight is the Rogfast Tunnel, plunging 392 meters below sea level. You could stack the Statue of Liberty 4 times at that depth, and it still wouldn't reach the surface. As you can imagine, the challenge here is pretty huge. The water pressure is around 40 times what you'd feel at sea level, so the tunnel needs incredibly strong reinforcement. And then you need to keep the air safe and manage the threat of fires and explosions. So they're creating twin tunnels connected by safety passages every 250 meters, spanning 27 kilometers beneath the cold water. Norway's engineers are also developing what could become the world's first floating tunnels, massive concrete tubes suspended about 30 meters below the waves. It's a huge project, but it's on pace to be completed by 2033. And speaking of huge, let's hop over to the mountains of Tibet for a moment, because this is China's Himalaya Dam. Yeah, China has just approved what could be the most audacious hydropower project in human history. The Mudog hydropower station, also known as the Himalaya Dam, will cost $137 billion, but it's the location that makes this project truly extraordinary. The dam will harness the Yarlung Tsangpo River at its most spectacular point, where it makes a massive U-turn through the world's deepest canyon. Here, as it curves around the 7.7 kilometer tall Namcha Barwa mountain in a huge arc known as the Great Bend, the river drops more than 2,000 meters in altitude. The power potential here is enormous. 60,000 megawatts, 3 times more than China's Three Gorges Dam, already the world's largest power station. But the engineering challenges are just the beginning. For one thing, it sits on one of the Earth's most seismically active regions, where earthquakes are a very real threat. And then there's also the fact that the gorge is so remote that it's barely accessible. That's not enough for you? Well, there's international controversy too. See, downstream, this same river becomes the mighty Brahmaputra, flowing through India, Bhutan, and Bangladesh. Approved in December 2024, this project has already sparked intense debates about water rights and environmental impact. The dam could significantly alter water flow to these nations, where millions depend on the river for their livelihoods. Now, China's pushing ahead regardless, seeing the Himalaya Dam as the key to their clean energy future. Whether this project becomes an engineering triumph or a source of regional tension remains to be seen. But even this isn't the most ambitious project on the list. For that, we've got to take a look at Kuwait's Silk City. At $600 billion, Silk City will be an entirely new metropolis on the desert shores of Kuwait Bay, and it could be the most expensive in the world. The name evokes the ancient trading routes that once connected east and west, and that's exactly what this city aims to do again. At its heart is Mubarak Al-Kabir Tower, reaching 1,001 meters into the sky. This will house 7,000 people across 234 floors, a symbol of Kuwait's bold leap into the future. The master plan spans 250 square kilometers, which is about 3 times the size of Manhattan, and the city will be divided into 4 distinct districts: Finance City, Leisure City, Ecological City, and Cultural City. Plans include an Olympic stadium, cutting-edge medical centers, and an international airport. Green spaces and nature reserves will weave throughout, creating a sustainable oasis. And when it's all complete, it'll house 700,000 residents and create 450,000 jobs. Construction will take place over 25 years, with Kuwait's northern shore turning into a global hub for trade and innovation. As of early 2025, the first phase is already underway, but the timeline has been extended. It's not likely to finish until 2040. Kuwait is betting big on this project, seeing it as the key to diversifying its economy and helping it move away from oil. Okay, we've seen some insane mega projects so far, but it's time to reveal the last one on our list. This is Qatar's North Field expansion project. And here, deep beneath the waters of the Persian Gulf, there's a natural gas reserve so vast it holds 10% of the world's known reserves. Qatar is launching the largest liquefied natural gas project in human history, a $29 billion expansion that'll reshape global energy markets. Qatar already produces 77 million tons of liquefied natural gas every year. By 2030, that number will shoot up to 142 million tons, requiring an unprecedented feat of engineering. They're building 6 massive trains, but not the kind that run on tracks. Actually, enormous facilities that cool natural gas until it becomes liquid at a whopping negative 162 degrees Celsius. Out at sea, the project demands 8 new drilling rigs and 8 platforms to control 80 wells, all connected by a network of undersea pipelines. And when complete, it'll be the largest liquefied natural gas production center on the planet. The first phase will be completed in 2025. For a country smaller than Connecticut, it's a bold bid to maintain its position as the world's leading natural gas exporter well into the future. Okay, so what do you think about these incredible mega projects? Which one surprised you the most? Should we make a second part with the next set of countries? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you want to try CyberGhost VPN, make sure to use our link in the description. CyberGhost VPN will protect your data while you browse and give you full access to blocked content on the internet. It's a great VPN just like their current deal for $2.03 a month and 45 days money back guaranteed, so it's totally risk-free. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.